What's up, y'all? It's the Sports Mix. Big Kenny checking in. Got a special guest with me tonight. Young fella.
Yeah.
Known since he's about what, 9, 10 years old.
Yep.
Got to watch you matriculate
Yeah.
on that basketball court all the way to Portugal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You back home now.
It's been a journey.
After your first year as a professional, man. So I've been always telling you how proud I am of you.
Right.
And this was the next step, man. I got my little thing going. So I said, let me get my man on here and we could talk about it.
Yeah.
How it started, how we got from, the Boys and Girls Club all the way to Portugal, man.
Yep.
So we got my guy Terry Nolan Jr.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you for having me. Appreciate you for having me.
My God, what's good, man?
Nothing much, man. I appreciate you for having me. Man, we've been talking about this for a little minute, so
yeah. This guy fitted in. I know you're busy man.
Yeah.
Whatever. So just right off the top, man, how was that first professional year? How was it being a pro?
Yeah. Well, that first year, man, first I just got to give thanks to God. Like, from the beginning, I'm sure we'll get into it, but this was something that we kind of been wanted to happen. It's been a goal of mine, been a dream. And so for it to actually come into fruition, I just got to give thanks to God. But it was different. It was definitely different playing over there. The style of basketball I had to adjust to, style of coaching I had to adjust to. But the overall atmosphere of playing basketball, like, it was amazing. Like, they come from a soccer club. So most of them fans, they rowdy. When you go to those gyms, back in here, it's like you play at Chick Web or something like that. Imagine that packed, but the fans are going crazy, air horns and everything. So like the atmosphere playing there was amazing. But yeah, it was a fun experience. It was definitely dope to be there.
Yes, I saw a couple of videos like you would post or your dad might post something, and I could see like that, like you say, that the atmosphere is definitely different from what we used to.
Right.
Not the wine and cheese crowd, or or maybe it might be a little closer to like a college gym if you got a packed house. You know what I'm saying? And but we funny acting with our college teams too. If you ain't winning, they ain't showing up.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? So, all right, so let's take it back. So we know your journey has taken you to Portugal. You're a professional.
Right.
You can say you're a professional athlete right now. Where did it start for you? Where did this journey start for you?
Yeah. So it originally started 2004, right? I was playing basketball. It was the first time I picked it up. I was playing at Stembridge. I wasn't really taking it serious. It was just, how your parents just get you in recreational sports. I actually started out in football, and then, to be honest, I ain't like getting hit. So I switched over to basketball. But for me, like my starting foundations was the Salvation Army, and then playing with you. Like that is where like my roots is. And then from there, I remember we were playing at the Mello Center, me and you, our team, and we was playing up. We playing Walter P. Carter. They got Kana, they got Khalil, they got 2, 6, 6, 6, 7 at the time. Well, I think it was like 9, 10 U. And I'm the center at the time, but I'm really the point forward. So it's like I think I had 2 blocks in a row back to back with them. And then that's what kind of sparked my AAU career with playing Walter P. Carter from, upgrading from rec to AAU. Yep. And then from there, it kind of just, that was mostly the team I played with all the way up middle school. Once I got to high school, it kind of went into playing with Baltimore Supreme a little bit. And then I attended Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Yeah. Freshman year. Well, I started 8th grade. That's kind of when things kind of really started picking up for me. Like I was on the AAU scene a little bit. I knew my role. I played defense. Didn't really have a jump shot. I had a good motor. I had athleticism. So like I had like the raw athletics of the game. It just took some time for my skill set to really develop into what it was. So right around that 8th grade year, 9th grade, I really started to kind of find myself as like an athletic guard. And then really just AAU and working out, that kind of really what took me off 9th and 10th grade. 9th grade, I played JV. 10th grade, I 6-man off the bench on varsity. But that 10th grade summer, I attended that Pangos camp in New Jersey. And I had a highlight tape that game, had a nice little dunk. And from there, that's where kind of things picked off for me. College started coming in. And then, like you said, just matriculate it, keep going on and on.
Yeah. So, the journey.
Yeah.
Finally. So all right. Let me go back a little bit. So what I didn't know, when I first met you, I didn't know that you played football.
Right.
So maybe a couple of years ago, when your dad had posted some video of you playing football, I was like,
right. Yeah.
Had I known that, I probably would have, I'd probably tried to get you to stay playing both.
Yeah.
But you was running that football, man. Like, you look like you knew what you was doing out there, man.
Listen,
I'm like,
I didn't like to get hit, so when they put me at running back, when we played 6'8", you can ask my pops. That whole year, I maybe got hit 10 times. Every time I got it, was a touchdown.
Yeah. Well, from the video I saw, I said, "Damn, Terry was running that football, man." I didn't know. Because you know what? As much as I was around y'all, you never talked about football.
Yeah.
I never heard you talk about football ever. And I'm talking, we was around each other quite a bit for about 2 years.
Right.
From when y'all was playing with me. So yeah, I saw that, man. So I never knew. And then talking to your dad, he's like, man, he was hurt when you started playing basketball.
Yeah.
I was like, because remember the first year, dad wasn't really coming to the games the first year.
Right.
He started coming like the second year when he started like, damn, he can play a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the beginning, he was like, man, I just wanted him to play football. I thought he was gonna go football route.
Right.
But hey, I think it worked out.
Yeah, it definitely did.
I think it worked out.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, the connection, man. So you and Darian,
right,
like brothers. My nephew, and Darian always knew that I coached basketball, was always around. So when he started playing, he would always tell me, Uncle, you gotta come watch me play.
Yeah.
So, and at the time, I wasn't even coaching. At the time, I wasn't coaching anything. At the time, I just was like working.
Right.
So I remember getting off work early one day. I think I called Kelly. I said, "Do they got games today?" She was like, "Yeah, we here now."
Yeah.
I said, "All right, I'm coming." So I come out there with just to watch nephew. That was my whole
Salvation Army.
Yeah, that was my whole motive that day, was just to come watch Darian, show some support. I'm watching him. I said, "All right, Darian, nephew can play a little bit." But who was this other kid? Who was this other kid, man? And I kept, I done told this story a couple of times. Yo, you got the ball at the top of the key, at least maybe 3 or 4 times straight. Remember when you was young, you used to get it. You did a little head fake.
Yeah.
You did your little head fake. You put it on the floor, 1, 2 dribbles, and you was at the rim.
Yeah.
From the top of the key, I was like, yo, little kids don't do that.
Right.
Most 10-year-olds don't do that without some, you know what I'm saying? That they've been playing for a while.
Yeah.
So I said, I just watched you play. That's how you was moving. I said, man, Shorty got some natural stuff with him. So then my shit started churning. I said, man, I gotta get a team again. Now we can say it now. What I didn't know, you was older than Darian.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know that you was a year older.
Yeah.
So I had a 10 under, and they was like, well, Terry 11. So that was the hesitation.
Right.
That was the hesitation in the beginning. Because remember when we started playing, you was coming to the games. You was sitting over there with Kelly and them.
Yep, sitting right on the side.
So me and Coach Dean, I said, that's the kid I was telling you about. So we already had eyes on you. And I'm thinking, should I let him play? Or I don't want to be the one that he ringing all this, that, and the other. I said, you know what? When you look at the rest of the team, it ain't no slight to the rest of the guys. They was learning.
Right.
We was all learning.
Yeah.
So I said, fuck it. Bring your shit next week. Bring your stuff next week. And it was history from there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you show up, right? You show up to the game. None of the kids, only kids know you as Darian.
Right. None
of the other kids knew you. They didn't know what you could do. Coach Dean hadn't seen you play yet. Only me, Darian, Kelly, all us, we the only ones that knew, what we was getting. And I remember we didn't start you. You know what I'm saying? We kind of had you sitting on the bench, and we had that little slow start like we usually do.
Yeah.
And Coach Dean did all the subbing. So he said, you think it's time? I said, yeah, go ahead. So he go ahead and throw you in there. And the very first play, you put a rebound and a putback. And we just kind of turned and looked at each other like, I told you.
Yeah.
But it was off to the races after that. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, and the other thing, the other kids knew too. I remember who was on the bench at that time, but they was all kind of like, oh, he can play. So, so you kind of brought, you kind of brought to that team what they needed.
Right.
They needed somebody that was going, because you gave everybody else confidence. They felt like if Terry was there, we got a shot.
Yeah.
If nothing else, we might not win the game, but we're going to go out fighting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember, it's crazy. I remember like, y'all might be running late or something. And it didn't fail. It was always somebody going to say, Coach, is Terry coming?
Right.
Yo, just warm up. Stop worrying about Terry. You know what I'm saying? But
oh man,
you had a hell of an impact on that squad for real, man. Like, that whole group of guys, man, they knew if Terry here, we got a shot. You know what I'm saying? We got a shot to win this thing. And I got some I got some photos.
Right.
Let me find one.
Man. But yeah, just piggybacking off of that, like when you said, like when we really did that transition after that tournament, we started. Oh yeah, throwback.
So this the original squad,
right?
This was the original squad right here. This was the one. You know what I'm saying? This is where it all started. So,
sheesh.
This was the original. And we didn't even have a name at that point.
Nah,
we was just whatever.
Yep.
We didn't even have a team name. We were just out there balling.
I remember you came to it like, which I want the name to be. We started talking about the East West All Stars.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that's the squad right there.
Right.
Now, how many of these guys you still keep up with?
All right. So now that we talking about it, right? D Young, me and Darian, we've been locked in for a long time. So of course, Darian, the kid to the left, Cameron Byers. Currently, right now, his sister is my fiance, mother of my children.
Yeah.
Crazy thing is, we didn't even speak. Like me and her never spoke, and me and Cameron was that close at a young age. We've always been in the same circle.
Right.
I still keep in touch with Chauncey. I seen Uzo a couple times. The other Cameron, I kind of lost touch with him in high school when he went to Curly.
That's when you dunked on him, wasn't it?
Yeah. I forgot about that one too. That was nasty.
Yeah. The word got out on that.
Yeah, that was nasty. Yeah. And then Dante, I haven't talked to Dante. I ain't talked to Mark in a minute. Why am I forgetting Coach Dean's son name right now?
Oh, Karan.
Yeah. I talked to Romello. That's his name, right?
Romello, yeah.
Yeah, Romello. I talked to him. I've kind of been keeping in touch with him a little bit, but I haven't talked to his brother in a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, these my guys, man. David.
Crazy.
David was a hell of a football player.
Yeah.
Yeah, David. I actually went to one of his games when he was in college. He's a bulldozer.
Oh, yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, but I see Chauncey and Darian probably more than any of them. I haven't seen Mark. I haven't seen Mark in years. Yeah. I'm still looking for Mark. Mark was my guy. And then Dante, of course. Dante, my guy too. Dante, he doing what Dante do.
Yeah.
So, but we digress on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that was the group, man. That first group, you know what I'm saying? That team right there got it was raw.
Yeah.
Remember we didn't have no uniforms.
Oh.
It was just like we threw it together.
Yeah.
Half the team was from Middle River, Essex area. The other half was from West Baltimore. So we just kind of threw it together, man. Yeah, and it worked.
Yeah, we was having fun doing it.
Yeah, we made it work.
Right.
So we boarded up. I got boarded up, man. Let me get the story. So the word was getting out. It was I guess it was a summer league game, and he's like, "Yo, this boy Terry dunked on this kid, man. This boy about 6'5". Nasty. So I was hearing about it.
Right.
And So I was like, damn, and then, I think I talked to your father. Your father was telling me, yeah, he got him good. I didn't know who it was.
Right.
I'm just hearing you don't know this boy about 6'5", man. You got him good. I was like, damn, that's tough. It probably like 2-3 weeks later when I found out who it was. I said, man, you got to be kidding. Now, I would have loved to have been in the gym to have seen that. And it's nothing against him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing against him because I liked him too. You know what I'm saying? When he played with us, he was a little slow starter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just that to be there to see that.
That was crazy because one of my good friends, Mike, he play on that team. So like that whole game, me and him were just like taking jabs at each other, talking like the whole game, having fun. And I think it was like a sequence where like he hit a 3, I hit a 3, he hit another 3, I hit a 3, he missed the 3, and then that's when I got the rebound. He tried to stop me at half court on the left side, and I threw it between the legs. Like you said, like I always know how to get the ball in stride, like to use the most of your steps. 2 dribbles from the half court line, took off from like 1 step on the free throw line. He tried to take a charge. Dunked it.
Is there any footage of that?
No, nobody recorded it. Nobody recorded it. That's the crazy part.
Man, I would have loved to have the footage of that. Just for my sake.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just for my sake. I wouldn't. Do you know if he played any ball after high school?
Nah, I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Yeah.
So, did you ever play against him in high school? Other than that?
No. Yeah, we played each other in like AAU.
Yeah.
But never in like the high school setting again.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So so we did the rec thing. I mean, well, we was like a travel team. And then we capped it off. Let me get the other one. I got another one for you.
Yep.
I got another one. Let me get it. I need a producer. That way they make these transitions a little smoother.
Oh.
So this was the pinnacle.
It's a CCBC tournament? The buzzer beaters?
Yeah. Yeah, this was right here. Now you realize that this weekend, right? The weekend of this we was probably the best basketball that this group ever played.
Right.
Because we was playing at the other league and we played there that weekend. And we was just rolling them out.
Right.
They set us up the first game. We played against the Rockets. Remember the Parkville, they had the red look like the Houston Rockets.
Yep.
They supposed to beat us. Everybody thought we was gonna lose that game.
Yeah.
We win that game. Then the second game, I don't even remember who we played the second game.
Somebody thought we was gonna lose again though.
But we wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
We wasn't supposed to be there. And again, like people just don't understand what we was doing. Like the shirts y'all had, we always had the shirts.
Right.
But the blue shirts underneath and the shorts, man, I ran out and bought them joints like that Friday.
Yeah.
And they was too big for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. People doubling up on the strings and stuff.
Right.
But we just made it work.
You
know what I'm saying? We did whatever we had to do to make it work.
Right.
And I think in a small way, that made y'all feel a little bit more like a team. Just that we all got the same shorts. We got the same shirts on. Right. We got the little, you know what I'm saying? So just made us feel a little bit more like a team. But it came together that weekend, and then it ended that Sunday morning, man, with this championship.
Yeah.
That was just big. And then, for me, I'm playing against my old neighborhood.
Right.
Place where I started coaching, down Turner Station. That's where it all started for me.
Right.
So to play against them, I knew the coaches. Most of the kids, I knew who they were. So it was just big. It was big all the way around. And then for us to go in there and win it.
Right.
And I still got the trophy over here. Right over there in the corner over there. I still got the winning shirt. I should have shined it up and put it up here on the desk.
Right.
But that was what you remember about this weekend here?
All right. So I mean the last 2 games we won, both of them was off a buzzer beater.
Yep.
I remember, and literally it was the same theme in those 2 games around like and you know what's crazy? Now that we're reflecting on it, it makes sense of how I play today, right?
Right.
Around like the 3-minute mark to where it's like crunch time. You and Coach Dean will always tap me and say, Superman, it's time to take over. I would look at the scoreboard and say, all right, I got y'all. And somehow, some way, we always came out. Whether I hit it, whether Mark hit it, we had trust in each other that we was going to win. Like, that was the whole thing.
Yep.
And I think to this day, like, when it gets crunch time, 3 minutes, I look at that scoreboard and subconsciously it's like, yep, Superman, take over.
Yeah, yep, time to go.
Right.
Time to go. And that game, I think Mark hit the shot to win that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I cringed when he threw it because he just threw the shit up there. He didn't shoot it. He just kind of launched it up. And the shit banked in off the backboard, man. And the next thing I did was look at the clock. I was like, please, let the time run out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they got the ball back, but it was like, I don't think they got a shot off
right
after that. But it was over, man. And I was so happy for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Just understanding, you know, what we was doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, running. You know, people like, yo, I used to get off work. Now I could finish work clear across town somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I would haul ass out there at the middle river to pick y'all up, bring y'all all the way back to town, practice, and then take y'all back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we was doing this every week, trying to make it happen. And with limited resources, you know what I'm saying? With really limited help. Like what we didn't have, like, you know, the help a lot of people had, or the you know, we didn't have the teams like everybody else had, and their support like that.
Right.
But it worked. You know what I'm saying? We was able to pull it together and make it work. Yeah. The one thing that I knew was, you know, watching you play, I was like, I ain't gonna be able to keep this kid around long. If I do, it'd be selfish of me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I was like, yo, you was outgrowing our situation. You know what I'm saying? So we played the next year. We played. You know, you played with us the next year. Mm-hmm. That's when I could see it.
Right.
Like you was kind of separating yourself from the group. And like I say, it's nothing against the group. Mm-hmm. It's just you did some stuff naturally. You know what I'm saying? The other kids had the work to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, man, I'll be talking to Coach Dean. I hope he get on here. We still be talking about shit that I should have did different.
Right.
In some of them games back then. Mm-hmm. You know, it was like the BNBL game up Cecil Kirk when we lost to the I think the team was from Edgewood or somewhere. And we kept telling Dante to stay home. Mm-hmm. Remember, Dante would chase the ball.
Yeah.
I should have said what I should have did if I could play that game right now. Mm-hmm. What I would have did was I would have put y'all in. I'd have put four in the zone and let him chase. I would let him chase.
Right.
That way, somebody because what they did was because the little point guard was smart. Mm-hmm. He just dribbled and waited till Dante got out of position and threw the pass right where he should have been at.
Right.
And the little kid hit the little jump shot. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, if I go back, I just let Dante chase the ball.
Right.
And put y'all in a 2-2, you know what I'm saying, zone-wise. So we all in position.
Box and one, yeah.
Just let him go because he was going to chase the ball anyway.
Yeah.
Or another thing that I would do different if I could go back is I would have had the ball in your hand most of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we just flowed better. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, when teams pressed us, you took the ball out.
Yeah.
You get the ball back to Terry and get the fuck
just
out.
Go. Yeah, just go.
You know what I'm saying? So that worked.
Right.
We figured out we didn't try to break the press 100 different ways. Mm-hmm. The best way to do it was give it back to you because nobody was going to steal it from you.
Right.
Or they wasn't going to trap you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right. Thinking back, if I could go back and relive some of that stuff, you know, there was some of the things. It's crazy the mind because I'm still talking about this stuff years later. Mm-hmm. What I would do, what I wouldn't do.
Right.
But yeah, you know, I could see you had the mentality. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I just wanted, the one thing that for me was, is he going to take it serious? Because you was silly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you was a kid. So I understood you still a child. You're not, you know what I'm saying? But but you was a kid, you know, so it's like, and you just trying to have fun.
Yeah.
So the one thing I didn't want to do is not make it fun for you. So some of the stuff you just gotta tolerate.
Right.
But the one thing I did want to do was challenge you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And make sure you get in an environment where you with other kids at your level,
right,
or higher, that's going to push you. Because I knew you had determination. You wasn't the type that was going to let people get the best of you. You weren't going to go back at them.
Right.
And I always knew that about you.
Mm-hmm.
So you brought up the game down Mellow, which when we played against Coach Gerald and them.
Yeah.
And you know, it was one of them games. It was never. I don't know if you remember. The game was out of hand. They was going to win the game.
Yeah.
I pulled you to the side. I said, "We're not running no more offense. You get it, and you go."
Yeah.
And that's when you went off.
Right.
I remember you got the blocks on the big boy, one of the tall kids.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Mark got the other tall kid thrown out the game?
Yeah.
You remember that?
It was Kanai.
When they got the tussling, and Mark kind of got him to the floor and showed he got him swinging.
Yeah.
I said, no, he out of here. So that helped us out a little bit. We got one of them trees out of there.
Right.
But I remember you caught the one boy shit. Like he tried to do a turnaround on him, and you was right there. Bang, give me that. So, and that kind of woke him up. He was like, oh.
Right.
But you was already turned up.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, it's like, now what?
Yeah.
And then they couldn't stop you.
Right.
You kind of showed then. Like, I don't care. Look, give me the ball.
Right.
So we shake hands at the end of the game. Now I know Coach Gerald. We go to the same barber. We got the same barber. Everything. He said, Kenny, man, what's up with number 23? what y'all doing anything this summer? I said, well, we ain't doing nothing like y'all doing. We ain't on y'all level. But I'll introduce you to his father.
All right.
So that's all that with.
Mm-hmm.
He asked about you. And most people don't ask. They just gonna figure out a way to get to the kid without try to be the snake. But he had the respect for me to ask me.
Right.
I made the introduction. And really I left it up to your father. And and your father was a little reluctant at first.
Yeah.
He was a little reluctant at first. He called me a couple of times, like, I don't know. I don't know if he's ready. I said, he all right. He'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be all right. He won't be scared. He'll be all right. Let him go up there.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, you there and you shining.
Right. Yeah.
So what was that transition like? Going from our team where you was clearly the guy to you going into a situation where you don't really know nobody yet. You gotta get to know these guys and you gotta prove yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that like for you?
I think for me, one, it was humbling because like you said, it was a complete different thing than like our practice. Like our practice was like you said, one, that kind of shows a testament to like the level of coach that you are, talking about how you didn't want to take the fun away from the game of like one of your players. That's crazy. So when I'm having that atmosphere and it kind of switched to a coach that's like, I don't really care about your fun. We here to strictly work. Like that was like a big adjustment. And then not knowing how Coach Gerald was, because I never had a coach like Coach Gerald. Him, you mother, like he cursing you out the whole practice. So it was like it was a shock at first. And I think, at first it was like after that first practice, I didn't want to go back, but I think I understood like it was bigger than just that situation. Like it was a challenge that I had to overcome. And like you said, I'm not one to ever back down from a challenge. So it's like I just had to man up and just live and learn to be in the fire. And it took my game to the next level. Like when I got to the team, I no longer was the best player. I no longer was the man. I went to the team. I didn't even play for half the couple games. Right. I was playing up with Coach Gerald. And then because I wasn't playing, Coach Sam, who was an age group under, which is my actual age group, he was like, yeah, like you playing them, come play with me. So that's how I kind of went from Coach Gerald to Coach Sam, because at that level, like he put me in the fire. I was playing against, Baltimore guys know Day. They went to St. Francis. Khalil went to St. Francis. I'm playing against them. Kirk, they went to St. Francis on a daily basis. Yeah. And I go from hooping and getting buckets every day to practice to getting bust. Like, let's just be honest. So I'm the 9th, 10th man off the bench. So it was humbling. Yeah. But I think it took my game to the next level because it helped me with like my development. And I was ahead of the curve with that team, but I was underdeveloped with the team I was going into. So it made me like really catch up and work in and actually like challenge myself. Yeah.
And that was really like the next move. It was like if you would have stayed with us, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you would have excelled to a point.
Right.
Just because you know what I'm saying, you had some natural ability. But to not have that challenge, to not have that push every day in practice, you know what I'm saying, it could have stunned you.
Yeah.
It really could have stunted your game. And then, like I say, going from our practices where I got to be careful how I push because if I push too hard, motherfuckers ain't gonna come back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
and I know, some of these kids is fragile like that. Some of them don't even love the game.
Yeah.
They just like the fact that they was on a team and we was getting in the car going somewhere to play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to keep all of that in mind, as we was, trying to grow it. And I understood, like I had understood the level where we was at.
Right.
So when Coach and tell you like this, if it wasn't Coach Gerald, it'd have been somebody else. Somebody else was gonna push up like, yo, what's up with Shorty? Or they'd have just went talking to your father, you know what I'm saying, and trying to get you that way. Because it's just part of it. It's part of the whole coaching thing. You know how that shit been. You've been around it. You've seen kids jump from one situation to the next. Or coaches, you know what I'm saying? You know how the coaches are. They get in your ear, tell you your coach ain't shit. No, they ain't no good. You can come over here with us. So all that little stuff, man. But my thing was, and with any player that I ever had, to put them in the best position to be successful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we had a team like, I always think about Dante. If he had some focus and he had the right, you know what I'm saying? Because he had some other shit going on that was a distraction.
Right.
Because he naturally was athletic. He could run a football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He could have been a better basketball player if he had the focus. But he had the athletic ability to do it. Dante, the kid, could run all day.
Yeah.
Never got tired.
Yeah.
he would run all day, want to fight.
Yeah.
Play around. He didn't go to sleep till we got back in the van to go home. But all day, just energy. So, he's a kid, man, that I always wonder, had he had that focus, what he could have did with his athletic ability.
Right.
Now I know he wasn't going to grow to be 6 foot. He wasn't going to be no big kid, but he was a scrappy kid. He might have could have got to school for free.
Yep.
That type of
something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So you go through that. You play in the AAU. You're going up to. I guess when you change schools, I kind of remember when that happened too. When you changed from
Middle River to St. Paul's.
Yeah. So that seemed like it was a big shift for you too.
Yeah.
As far as your academics and everything started to get online at that point.
Right.
So talk to me about that change a little bit.
So I think around that time, that's when we really kind of my parents, because like you said, my pops, he kind of started to see it a little bit one time I was with Walter P. Carter. And for me, I didn't really take it serious. Like you said, I was a young kid at the time. I'm going to Middle River. I'm having fun, still getting in trouble, not knowing any better, just trying to have fun and not, being focused on really something in life, just having fun, really. And when I got to that 8th grade, and I'm like, oh, my grades can stop me from playing basketball at schools, and basketball is something that I'm actually like having fun with.
Yeah.
And then my pops telling me, like, people make an actual career with playing basketball. Like, they go to college for free, they get educations, they do stuff that people in our community don't get a chance to do. Like, you got a gift. If you don't take it serious, God gonna take it away. And I think around that time, also my grandma had passed away. So for me, it was like I lost the love, but basketball kind of replaced that hurt that was in my heart a little bit. And I kind of started to fall more in love with the game. So coming from Mount Carmel, where my grades were D's, E's, and I think I had like a couple B's possibly. I think I had an A in gym. That was my only A. So I really wasn't going to get into any other like good high school or private high school to like really take basketball serious. It was going to be a public school like Kenwood or Eastern Tech, where I would have been around the same people, the same environment, where, like you said, the same thing with our team. At a point, I wouldn't have kept growing. Like I would have got a cap, because once you get to a certain level, if you're at the top of that level to get out that room, you have to get uncomfortable to go through other ringers, because it's going to help your development. Yeah. And so for me, I knew that my next step was, okay, me and Ross, we had started to grow a relationship. He was kind of on the right track with like school and where he was going to go, his grades. He kind of had a vision. And I think I kind of clung to that a little bit of like, okay, I can see now a future in basketball. I think I need to change my route in terms like to make this happen. And that was why I kind of reclassed that 8th grade year, went to St. Paul's, started really locking in on school, fixed my grades, and was able to get into a private school, Our Lady of Mount Carmel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you brought up Ross.
Yeah.
Now he's obviously missing from this picture.
Championship game.
And he probably got a lot to do with the size of this trophy that Tyler holding in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to have the big one.
Yeah.
So, but I wish I had a picture with him in it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, when we put this team together again, this was not a team that we practiced with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This wasn't a team that we was in the gym together.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that. I think I reached out to you or your father. I don't even remember how it happened. I don't remember how they even came together. I know Coach Dean was like, yo, he got some boys.
Yeah.
I said, let me call Terry, see if he want to play. And then you was like, well, I'm bringing Ross. Mm-hmm. I said, shit, we good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We good. Mm-hmm. But just didn't know how it was all going to come together.
Yeah.
You know, that was the thing. I knew we had some kids that could play. Now, how's it going to work? How's it going to come together? But what I would do, you know, and you've been around me enough. Mm-hmm. I just coach the game.
Yeah.
I let Coach Dean worry about all the subs and all that stuff. So he got a knack for who need to be in at this time or that time.
Right.
And I just let him do that. Mm-hmm. And I worry about fussing with the referees and all the shit I do. But man, that shit came together so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I remember I don't know if it was I know one of the games I was supposed to not be there, and I came late. And I mean, we up 25. I mean, something crazy. Man, it was ridiculous. I was like, and Dean over there, you know,
chilling,
just chilling, man, because it was in cruise control.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was in cruise control, man. I'm like, yo, we won, and the team that beat us, they played us tough every time we played them.
Yeah.
But we just had enough to get by them.
Right.
And then to get to the championship game, and we missing Ross. And Ross got the MVP of the league, didn't
he? Yeah.
He was the league MVP. And we still played them close.
Right.
It still came down to the end. But we should have beat them fuckers, man. we should have beat them boys,
I remember
man.
that one hurt too.
Yeah.
Because you got to think, I started at the Salvation Army. Yeah. So now coming back, I'm like, nah, I got to get the ship now.
Yeah.
Lost in the championship, man.
Yeah. There was one game. One game you came late.
Yeah.
We was playing the Boys and Girls Club team. And they had the one kid, I can't remember his name, but he was going to the rack and wasn't nobody getting his way or nothing. And this game was too close. I'm like, yo, we should be blowing these kids out.
Right.
I called a timeout. I said, yo, somebody got to foul him. He keep coming in there, yo, just hit him. Like, I don't want you to hurt him, but give something.
Yeah.
We got to stop him from wanting to come in there. And they was like, yo, he you know how it is. You get your confidence up. You going, ain't nobody gonna stop you.
Right.
Shorty was like, man, ain't none of y'all gonna stop me. Here you came to the game late. You didn't even get the instruction. You didn't even know that was what I was telling somebody, just to hit him once. Not to hurt him, but just so he know when he come in there, it's not gonna be that easy.
Right.
You come in the game, I think Dean threw you straight in the game. Y'all go in there tussling for a rebound, and you hit him in the head with a elbow. Unintentional.
Yeah.
And I said, game over.
Yeah.
Because I seen how he was holding his head.
He was done.
He was done.
Remember that.
He was a jump shooter the rest of the game.
Yep.
He was a jump, and we ended up blowing him out. We got him out of there. But I said, yo, that's all it took.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With somebody to come, but it would be you. You know what I'm saying? It would be you. You put your cape on a different kind of way that day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you came in there, go for a rebound, and pow. And I remember Shorty holding his head. I said, Dean, it's over.
Yeah.
He ain't going back in there. And sure enough, he was shooting jump shots the whole rest of the game and couldn't buy one. I said, yeah. But it'd be little stuff like that that'll turn the game. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when kids are overthinking. Yep. You know, trust me sometimes. I know a little bit about the game.
Right.
I know a little bit. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is touch him up a little bit. He ain't coming back in there.
Yep. Test his character a little bit. That's all you gotta do.
and that's old school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, when I first started playing, my 10th grade year, my coach told me the first time somebody come in there, every time, put the hammer on them.
It was a standard.
You just gotta let them know. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you come in here, you're gonna get hit.
All right.
Now, of course, they call the games a little different now, so you can't be as rough as you was at one point. But that was, like you said, that was standard. If you come in the paint, you're gonna get hit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just a different way. You know, we was taught the game a different way than how they play it now.
Yeah.
Because even when I was coaching y'all, I tried to teach y'all the same way, to be a little bit more aggressive. You know, don't let nobody get in there freely.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Touch them up a little bit. You know, and think about the little team, we had Big Rob. Rob was a space eater.
Yeah.
He couldn't play that well at first. But he just took up a lot of space, and he was going to hack you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you came in there, Dante was going to beat you up.
Yeah.
You know, he beating guards up out on the wing. He out there rough housing the guards. So
right.
Yeah, we was real rough and scrappy.
That was our MO.
Yeah. We was definitely scrappy.
Just scrapping, no matter what.
Yeah. So you move on to Mount Carmel. And you know, Mount Carmel, like, you know, I've been around. So I remember Mount Carmel. They were not an A-League team. You know, coming up through the years. They eventually moved there.
Yeah.
By the time you got there, they was, you know, playing in the A-League or whatever. So what was that transition like for you? Going from middle school to high school?
Yeah. So mind you, like I said, this is kind of where I really started to take basketball serious. So like I always remember like summertime or summer sessions is always like elevate my game when I really lock in on a specific craft. And so me going into high school, I knew I had to kind of take my game to like the next level of like being a scorer, like, because that was the role when I was talking to the high school coach. That's the role he wanted me to play. He wanted me to come in there and score. And so I had to do that. And then also me not having a relationship with the varsity head coach, it was a little iffy because I'm knowing now, like I got to really lock in because one day I want to play varsity. I want to play it as a freshman, but you know, you got to go through the ringer. So I know one day I got to, you know what I'm saying, get that roster. And if I already am getting on his radar from that freshman year, it makes your job a lot easier. Right. So the transition really was just come in there and just try to kill. Like it was, like I said, it was a different style of coaching. Coach Mike, he was more so like, we're going to have a couple of sets, but we just really going to play, which kind of fit my game a lot. And so, you know, me working on scoring that whole AAU and then coming into that summertime following the fall, once we started, I was the main scorer. I was the go-to guy. And so that was kind of like the route that I took at Mount Carmel. And then my sophomore year, because I had a great JV year, we didn't win a championship. We finished third place, which was like the best that their JV had ever finished at that time. Going into the sophomore year, I actually wasn't going to play varsity again because I was so comfortable on JV. One, again, like going back to the theme of like getting out your comfortability, Coach Mike, he told me like, nah, like I'm not allowing you to play JV again. Like you just had a 38-point game on JV. You shouldn't be playing JV. Like move up. Like you got to, you know what I'm saying? And because me, you know what I'm saying, understand that's the theme, I said, all right, you know, talking my pops took that sophomore role. But at the time they had brought in Montez Mathis. So me and him, and he's a freshman. I'm thinking I deserve, you know, because I just hooped. They didn't got a shooting guard at the time. I'm going to come in, fill that spot. Me, this is like the first time me not trusting in the work, but just trusting in because of the work that I had put in previously, right? I come there. I'm like, all right, sophomore year, I'm going to be a starter on varsity. That don't happen. Six man the whole year. I had to learn to shut myself down for the benefit of the team. Me coming from, you know, like we even talked about, I'm usually the star player, the ball in my hands, to now I'm coming off the bench, and that's the role that I got to play. But in that role, I understand that it's bigger than my emotions, bigger than what I want to do. Nah, the whole overall objective of being on the team is to win. So whatever my role was that sophomore year, whether it was come in, score, whether it was come in, guard the best player, be that spark off the bench, whatever that role was, I just had to embrace it. And I think that was why we really, because that sophomore year, that was the best year that Mount Carmel team ever had. We won 19 games in a row. Finished, we beat Gonzaga at the time, DeMath at the time. Like we were at the top in Maryland at that time, and we just lost to Calvert Hall in the championship to complete our season on the 20th game. So,
and that game was close.
Yeah, I missed a shot at the buzzer. John went in and out.
Yeah, that game was close. And I came to quite a few of them games that year. And again, talking to your dad, dad was a little on the fence. He's like, I don't know. I said, yo, he good. He can be all right, man. Don't worry about it.
Right.
I think he was more worried about the time, whether you're gonna get to play, whether they, I said he'll be all right. But see, in my mind, because I always look at it from a coach. I don't know who else on the team, none of that.
Right.
But I know what I know about you. I said, yo, he gonna make it hard for them to take him out of the game. You know what I'm saying? Once he get in there and do what he do, as long as you playing confident,
right?
And I've always told you that. Yo, you play with anybody. I don't care who it is. You get on the court, you gonna shine. You gonna show that you belong. So I never had a doubt. And like I say, I would come to them games. You wasn't starting, but once you got in, you rarely came out the games.
Right.
Only time you really came out if you was in foul trouble. And that wasn't often.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you pretty much, once you came in once you subbed in, you was pretty much in it, and you was always in the game at crunch time.
Right.
When the money was on the line, you was taking big shots, and making big shots.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like I kind of seen it. I'm like, nah, and it's again, it's no shot against nobody on the team. I just had that much confidence. Yeah, you was my guy, and I'm biased than a motherfucker speaking language. But yo, to me, and I think I heard at your senior night, the guy that was doing the announcing, when he kind of talked about the team's record in the time that you've been there. I mean, make it make sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was, I know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's time for everybody else to know. And I brag about you all the time.
Yeah.
I'm talking, people talking about this kid, that kid. I said, my kid just as good as them. You know what I'm saying? Or better.
Yeah.
So I threw your name in the hat with any of them that was coming up at that time. And just because, I seen you from the beginning, and you just like, you had stuff, you was doing stuff naturally that other kids had to work to learn how to do.
Right.
Like, yo, you was jumping in front of people, stealing the ball out the air with 2 hands when you were 10 years old. Like, and I see you do that shit in a varsity game. I'm like, yo, he been doing this since he was 10. This is nothing.
Right.
This is nothing to him, man. But then, you grew up, athleticism, now you dunking on people.
Yeah.
You got a jump shot because I remember you couldn't shoot it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it just showed me, man, yo, he was working. He been working.
Yeah.
He put the work in. Now the accolades starting to come.
Right.
That 10th grade year, like you say, the team was a solid team. I remember y'all was number 1 in the area at one point.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, when y'all lost to Calvert Hall, that was out UMBC. The gym is packed. I mean, it was a great game. I don't think UMBC games packed like that.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Nah. I don't think UMBC packed the gym for games like that, man. But it was a great atmosphere. Came down to the wire. And I remember because we were standing, me and my guy, we was standing up on the little rafters up at the top, right behind the basket.
Right.
So the play before that, remember you drove to the lane?
Yeah, goddamn.
He was coming baseline. I said, he great, dunk that shit on him.
Yeah.
He fouled you. His boy fouled you. And it looked kind of questionable. It looked like it might have been a flagrant. I don't remember if it was flagrant or not, but I know it was a tough foul. And you went to the line. And then I kind of remember at the end, you had a shot to hit the shot at the end.
Yeah.
To knock it down. But so 10th grade was probably as far as the school, their best season in school history.
Right.
Your junior year, not so much.
Nah, yeah.
Up and down your junior year, but your senior year, it's kind of Terry. Still a phrase from one of my former guests, Reggie Williams. They called Georgetown team Reggie and the Miracles when he was a senior, because he was the only senior. He had a bunch of freshmen and sophomores, and he got them all the way to the Elite Eight. And it was Terry and the Miracles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was you and y'all dudes were scrappy, man. Y'all was scrappy. Y'all wasn't real big. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, who was our tallest player your senior year?
Jordan Jones. He was like 6'5". Right. Yeah, but that's what hurt us in the championship right there.
Yeah. Well, they had Sticks and
I know.
And Sticks was automatic.
Yeah.
Like 15, 18 in, couldn't nobody, if you couldn't beat him up, man, he was just automatic.
Yeah.
But y'all played them tough because I seen y'all play them a couple times that year. Mount St. Joe.
Right.
And I mean, it like you said, they just had too much, for y'all to overcome. And it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So I mean, so overall, how you feel about your high school career?
I think I had a great high school career. Like you said, like 10th grade, the winning season in Mount Carmel history. 11th grade, that's when we kind of got a new coach. So it was a little up and down a little bit. We're kind of getting acclimated to everything new. We had some people transfer out, go to different schools in the MIAA. It was kind of my team 11th grade year, but it was just a lot of interchangeable parts that I had no control over. And we just didn't have that camaraderie that we had built from the 10th grade. So we had a rough year 11th grade, but 12th grade, like you said, like Terry and the Miracles, like every game, like I think I started off, if I didn't get hurt, I think my first 6 games I had nothing less than 25. So it was like I was on that type of frequency because also going into that, I had committed to Chattanooga. Yeah. So I'm committed. I'm going to do a Division I school. So at this point, it's not like I'm cocky about it. It's that I'm confident because I now had, like you said, the accolades started coming in. I'm starting to step into, okay, I understand the type of player I am. I'm understanding that what everybody's saying to me. Now it's time to act like it on the court, and the work followed. So that senior year, like that was really like when I really took lead, and like you said, the team just followed like back in the days. So it was one of those. But overall, I would say I had a great high school career.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that knows stats and stuff, but I got the best winning percentage at Mount Carmel. So yeah, I got no complaints.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I've been around for a long time. And Mount Carmel, you hear about them in spurts. You know what I'm saying? And like the years that you played, y'all was pretty much always up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all was always up. And y'all was knocking off some big boys.
Yeah.
And like I say, I'm biased. I'm biased. It was Terry's. It was all because of Terry. that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Yeah, I'm going with that. So, you go from high school. So I remember when you committed to Chattanooga, and we thought that was going to be the move. We got that's a long way, man. We got to figure out how we're going to get out there.
Yeah,
to catch some games or whatever. And then, lo and behold, So tell us what happened.
Right. So mind you, my whole goal for high school was that I wanted to commit on my birthday, September 10th, right before the high school season starts. So I can literally just focus on high school. I didn't want to focus on college and where I'm going. Now I want to get it out the way. So now I can really lock in on my last season and go out with a bang. And so I committed to Chattanooga throughout the whole year and of the high school season. I'm still committed to Chattanooga. And a month before like summer season start in May, I found out on Twitter that my head coach is leaving. Like he don't call me, assistants don't call me, nobody knows. I find out, I literally open my phone, scroll, see that my head coach is leaving. He's going to UMass. Like, what? What's happening right now? Early May. So at the time, it's like, okay, I don't want to stay at this school because I had committed to this coaching staff, what they had built, and I'm thinking I'm finna step into that. Like, I wasn't comfortable with stepping into unfamiliarity, especially when situations are changing. So I asked to open up my recruitment, and at the time, like I said, it's May, so around this time, rosters are already filled. Like you're really getting prepared for that June, that summer session when you were in college. And so I didn't really have many offers coming out of high school. Before I committed to Chattanooga, I had 35 Division I offers. Coming out when I opened my recruitment up, I had 3: Georgetown, George Washington, and George Mason. Okay. So I wanted to go to Georgetown. That was my dream school when I really started taking basketball serious. It was Georgetown. Like they had a good little era around that time. Georgetown, they wanted me to reclass and then do high school again and then come there, a year after. And for me, I didn't want to do that. I felt like I was ready for college. I was really like, I didn't want to do the reclassification. So I was like, nah, I didn't do that route. I went to Georgia.
Who was the head coach at Georgetown? Was that JT3?
Yeah.
JT3.
Yep. He told me come to a workout. He walked in the gym, didn't say nothing to me, sat in the corner, put his arms up, and just watched us play.
Yeah.
At the end of the workout, he came and shook my hand and said, "Yeah, we want you." Like it was one of those type of situations. Like he just off of just seeing me play, but they didn't have a spot already. That's why he wanted me to reclass and then come there.
So was Big John in the gym?
Yeah.
Big John was in the gym too?
Mm-hmm. The OG?
Coach.
Yeah. He was in there.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. That's the one that sat down. He told me he wanted me, not even his son.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He sat down, put his legs up. I had a good showing, and he said, "Yeah, we want you." And then his son, like, they talked to my pops afterwards. Like the actual head coaching staff was like, "Yeah, we want you, but we don't have a spot for you this year. You got to come the year after that, but we can send you to a prep school." Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you know, Georgetown's still my favorite team.
Yeah.
Still my favorite college team since I was 12, 11.
So, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, I'd have had to been at every game.
Yeah.
if you went on the hilltop, man,
right.
I'd have been down there all the time.
See, now I'm mad I ain't call you doing that. Because if I'd have called you, you probably been like, "Yeah, go to Georgetown."
Man, listen. one of the games I came to when you was at GW, I went to the Georgetown. I went to a Georgetown game first.
Okay.
That day. So Georgetown played at 12 that day. I went to the Georgetown game, and then I came to y'all game. I think y'all played like 4 or 5 o'clock. So I got a double dip.
Right.
I got some pictures of Big John. He was sitting behind the bucket. You know, Lonzo Mourning and all them guys was there.
Yeah.
And they won the game. That's when they had McClung.
Yeah.
McClung was on the team then. Yeah. Yep. And that was with Patrick Ewing.
Yep.
Yeah. Patrick Ewing was the coach by that time. Yeah. So look, man, we getting close to this hour. How much time you got?
I'm good, man. You let me know.
Yeah. So look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna close out the first hour.
Okay.
And then we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna go another one.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go as long as we can for the second half.
Bet.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna sign out for this, and we'll be right back. So if y'all watching, hold on, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.